Live from New York, it's Ask an Engineer.
It's a secret, but a secret that we all know about.
It's a secret that's broadcast around the world in HD.
It's time for another Ask Engineer, the longest running live electronics show ever.
Yeah. On planet Earth, we don't know the rest of the universe, if there's other ones going on, if there's an identical one. Who knows? But all we know for sure is we do this every week.
Okay, we're ready to do electronics, robotics, LEDs, all sorts of awesome stuff. We're going to have an exciting show tonight. If I can stay awake, I'm Lady Ada. I am the engineer. Somehow I got that job. Yeah. This is Mr. Lady Ada on camera control.
That's right. We can find anyone else to do it.
And that's fine. It's just like you're stuck with us.
Yeah.
Sorry. Morrissey tickets got canceled, but we're going to hang out here.
Yeah, for 3 years we've had Morrissey tickets, and every year something's happened. We moved Adafruit on one of the times. I think we got married another one of the times. This time, he canceled. So it's okay because this sadness is part of the experience. Anyways.
We're going to drag him here, break his heart, and stick him in the closet and force him to sing for us. Okay, so we've got an exciting show tonight. Tell them what's on tonight's show. Not Morrissey, obviously.
On tonight's show, not Morrissey. The code is RFID. 10% off in the Adafruit store all the way up to 11:59 p.m. tonight. Everything in the Adafruit store except for gift certificates and EqualCAD. We're going to talk about the show and tell. Amazing, wonderful people around the world showing and sharing their projects. Mailbag's going to stop by. Hi, I've got some mail to show you. Adafruit Learning System. Some of the best tutorials online, over 500 tutorials. We'll talk about that. We get some time traveling, news and more in the world of makers. Wearable electronics, all the news that's fit to wear. 3D printing, all the news that's fit to print. That works too. Pi Day, big announcement, Pi Day coming up. And we're going to have Collin's Lab.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have new products. We're going to answer your questions. We're going to have a trivia question. All that and more on, you guessed it.
We're going to have the top secrets on out yet?
Maybe.
Maybe?
Maybe.
Okay.
But it's all on Ask an Engineer no matter what.
Okay.
All right.
No problem.
Okay.
I can keep it under control.
Okay. So,
hey.
Let's pay some bills.
Okay.
Reminder, RFID. Have checked out, use RFID, you get 10% off. We have one MakerBot Mini left, and that is like one of the most expensive things you have, so it would behoove you, if you're thinking of getting a 3D printer, you get your USA, continental US, you get 10% off.
If you have hooves.
And
behoove it.
You would get free shipping, and you get a free PCB ruler, because that's our special deal right now.
Special deal?
Yeah, so
What?
$99 or more, you get a PCB ruler, 200 or more free UPS Ground Continental USA.
This ruler rules.
One ruler to rule them all.
Yes.
Okay, another reminder, we take Bitcoin.
You could buy this replicator mini and get a free PCB ruler and pay with cryptocurrency.
That's right.
It's cool by us.
Today I posted on the Adafruit blog, Expedia is taking Bitcoin for hotel bookings.
Okay.
This stuff is getting legit.
Okay.
You can get all sorts of services and goods. You can get electronics. You can book hotels. You can pay for your Dish network.
Can't go see Morrissey, though.
No Bitcoin will help you there. Sadcoin works for that one, though. And you can, what else can you do with Bitcoin? Overstock, I think, uses it. But anyways, seems like it's working out.
Yeah, did Tiger Direct decide to also?
I think they did, yeah.
Or is it everyone's saying? BitPay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Elon Mad Scientist Laboratories, a maker company.
Yes.
Takes BitPay.
That's right. They also did.
Okay. All right.
Join the party.
So that's some money stuff. Lady Ada, what was on the show and tell?
Okay, I want to do the show and tell. Yeah. Luckily, I wrote it all down.
For folks wondering, for a half an hour before Ask an Engineer, we do a show and tell. It's the longest running live electronics hangout that we know.
Yeah, it's actually it's probably one of the longest running Google Hangouts at all. That it happens every week. We've done it every single week.
Yeah.
Maybe like 1 week.
Yeah, Google also said this is one of the most watched ones too.
Yeah.
When they told us.
Yeah, popular. Okay. And it's really great every week. Noah and Pedro, Team Adafruit South, came by. They showed off a preview of this week's project. They did a 3D printed Adabot figurine, which is like really a pro figurine. Like it moves and it like can figure 8. It could posable. Yeah. All 3D printed. You can. Oh yes, thank you, Adabot, for this Adabot. So you too can 3D print your own. It takes like 20 hours, but You do piece by piece. You do the leg, and then you do an arm, and step by step, and then you have your own posable Adabot figurine. So they'll talk about that and the techniques they use to make this in the tutorial for 3D Thursday. Phil B, Paint Your Dragon from Adafruit West, came by. He made a NeoPixel video jacket, and he said it was too easy using the Fade Candy, and he didn't like it because it was too easy. So
we're gonna give him a challenge. Actually,
so now I have to think of how to make it. So he's like, I hate this project; it's too hard.
Well, he's working on a cool project, and are you gonna do that for it's not out yet? Maybe you're gonna.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. You guys gotta stay tuned.
Stay tuned. And he also showed his it's not out yet, which maybe I'll grab it. It's over there. I'll grab it. We should talk about it. Tony D from Adafruit Northwest. We almost have the entire country covered. We have to have like somebody in Texas, Adafruit Texas or something. I don't know. Tony D came by. He's working on cleaning up a bunch of GitHub repos and porting code to other platforms. So far, he has done. What did he do first? Man, I'm totally spacing. For the Raspberry Pi BeagleBone. Oh, he did the DHT sensor.
DHT sensor was one of the first ones.
The first one. He did the Nokia 5510 display, and these were ones that had like they were a bunch of work. So he spent like about a week on each one and like really cleaned up the Arduino library and cleaned up the BeagleBone Raspberry Pi library. And this week he did the DS1307 real-time clock. He cleaned up the RTC library in GitHub, and also checked and verified that it works for the Raspberry Pi, because the Pi was constantly going through revisions, as well as the BeagleBone Black using the new Debian. He figured out how to make that work and updated the tutorials. So good on Tony D. He's just doing like he's doing the work that people love us for, right? Because this is like the painful, tedious work that somebody has to do. And then we had some guests. We had Noah, who came by with a Grand Prix racer that he made, and it was it's a little like wood box racer. What are they called? I never did this. They're like called like wood block racing, pine box racing.
Yeah,
pine box racer. I didn't do this as a kid, so I didn't have experience. But he made one that was full of electronics, had an Arduino Micro, and one of our 2.2-inch TFTs, and it like displayed graphics. And he said he won second prize for design. It's pretty sweet. Just like stuffed some electronics in it.
Pinewood
box
derbies is what they do. And there is actually a little side note here.
Yeah.
People are starting to do them with 3D printers now. So you print out your car. Yeah, I think that's kind of neat.
Okay. Will Harris came by with his own. He made a DIY phone based on the David Malice phone. He made his own phone that he can hack and mod, and it uses Arduino, and it looks super cool. Really nice work with this DIY phone. Check it out. It's got these beautiful HP dot matrix LED displays, LTD displays. It's really expensive, but hey, really cool looking. Oh, and Noah also had a rubber eraser flash drive. I forgot about that. And then Dries came by, and he is doing some long exposure photography with an EMF detector. He built an EMF detector, like a coil that picks up electromagnetic radiation, and then it blinks an LED depending on how powerful it is, like an amplifier. And then he painted around like his house, his hackerspace, and such. And he made these really beautiful photos of the EMF that's radiating from like his Wi-Fi router or from his wall outlets. It really, actually, really elegant, beautiful images. Yeah. Looks like lightning was coming out of them. And that's it. We had a very short and sweet, but also very fun. I liked it. All new people, a lot of new people, and all new projects too.
Lady, how do people get on the show and tell?
If you would like to join next week's show and tell, it's super easy. Go to our Google Plus page at plus.google.com/+Adafruit and look for the post where we say comment here to get added to the show and tell. And most importantly, do not wait till 2 minutes before show and tell. Do it at least like an hour beforehand so that we have time to add you, because sometimes we're like doing video setup things and like Arduinos and like playing Zelda on our cupcake. We don't have time 2 minutes before the show. Give us a couple minutes to like do a save game and like get the raft or whatever. And then comment there, and then we will add you. And then every single week you'll get invited to the show and tell party, which is the hippest party this side of Adafruit.
The Mississippi?
The Mississippi, I don't know.
Who talks like that?
Fiddlesticks. And you can get a sticker.
All right. All participants on the show and tell get a sarsaparilla and a pair of dungarees. No, they get an as seen on the show and tell sticker. That's right. We will send this to you.
We will send you a physical sticker.
You get a sticker.
Not an e-sticker. It's
No.
it's like a vinyl sticker.
It's a sticker. Okay,
Put on anything you want.
let's keep moving. Back in the mailbag. Every single week we get emails, letters, and more from you. We really like these. We read these to our staff. We have a weekly meeting called State of the Fruit. All of Adafruit. We've done this every single week.
For like a couple of years now, 2 3 years?
Since we've
2 years?
since we've been in
Since we've been in this office.
since we've been at the Adafruit factory proper.
Okay.
We've had a
So 2 years.
weekly State of the Fruit where we tell everybody how the company's doing, what we're doing, what we're spending money on, all that. We're as transparent inside as we are out. This is one of the ones we read last week.
Okay.
This is a letter. This is from Dominique. Dominique says, we just received our order. I do not know who does the final packing of our order, but it was really great and a very professional job. I think it's important to highlight a so good work and the person that does it.
Who was it that packed that order?
We looked it up. I believe it was Elisa.
Elisa.
2 in a row.
Elisa
Yeah.
gets like emails
Yeah.
about
So,
her packing.
the goods were really well packaged. Inside the box, well protected. Several items of the same product were put together within plastic bags. A dream to double check the content. One of the best packaging in the last 12 months. Have a nice day, Dominique.
This is box packing of the year. Somebody actually sent a photo of the box too. They said, "This, look at how well this was packed."
Yeah.
Go, Elisa.
When we have a couple of things that folks do now, they take a picture of the packing job. They like how we package things.
Yeah.
And then they take a picture of the invoice because we have these cool quotes from scientists and engineers and inspirational people that just make you like want to build and do stuff. So anyways, that's what we got. Next up, Adafruit Learning System. We hit our big milestone last week, 500 tutorials in the Adafruit Learning System.
Oh yeah, that's right.
This week, though, I think I even forgot a couple, but we have some more.
Okay.
I'll do the first one. The first one is the 3D printed camera tripod adapter for telescope. We have this really cool scope. It's the Selectron First Scope telescope. But one of the things that, well, I should back up a little bit. One of the things that I really like about it is it's made for kids. It's low cost. If you look here, it's $59.
It's a deal
it's
for a
low-
telescope.
Yeah, it's low
And
cost.
it's a good telescope too.
And it's supposed to get young people or just about anybody into astronomy. So the only thing, though, is young people all have cell phones, and they would love to take pictures of the things that they see
Moon
and share.
selfies.
Moon selfies.
Moonsies.
Moonsies. And they would love to take photos and share them with friends on Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, Flickr, you name it.
Instagram. I do say it's
Google Plus. You know, wherever people share photos.
Whatever the youth are going.
Yeah.
They want to share photos of the moon. Check it out. You can now take Saturn photos.
Yeah. So this is a really cool 3D printed project that you can do that makes an adapter. It also makes it so it can sit on a tripod. So we're going to show the video of that in just a little bit. But that's a tutorial that you can look at. We put the 3D files on a variety of online places that, that allow you to upload photos. Pick the one you hate the least and download away and print. Okay, next up. This one is, I'll talk about this one too.
Collin's Lab.
This is Collin's Lab RFID. This is the transcript and the site that has information about Collin's latest video. RFID Collin's Lab is back for those who remember it from Make Magazine. Collin has his lab, and it has a new home here at Adafruit. So we're continuing the Collin's Lab series here a couple of months now, and we're going to show the video later in the show. Next up, I'm going to do this one too. This is the VU Meter baseball hat, and this is a sound-sensitive NeoPixel cap. We showed this today on Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern. Check it out. And it has the best wearable electronics in the world. And this is a really cool hat that says drones on it, and it has a VU meter, so as you talk and do things, it's a cool hat. I have a feeling this is what the hats are going to be.
Future hats.
For all the young people now. And then last up, why don't you do this one, Lady Ada?
I wrote up updated tutorial for the LED backpacks. This time I'm covering the new alphanumeric displays that we've added. We'll show them off in the new products. But now there's even more ways to have LEDs blink using I2C. We love these LED backpacks because they're so low cost. And we're upping the game.
Okay.
Alphanumerics.
All right. Every week we do a segment called Time Travel. And Time Travel is when we look back in the world of makers, hackers, artists, scientists, and more. Lady, do you know what this computer is?
That there is an Apple II.
That's right. And 1977, Apple II, and it's styled as the Apple II.
Yeah, that little bracket.
8-bit
yeah,
computer, one of the first highly successful mass-produced microcomputer products, designed primarily by Steve Wozniak, manufactured by Apple Computer, and introduced in 1977, is the first model in a series of computers that were produced until Apple IIe production ceased in November of 1993.
Wow, they were still making Apple IIes in '93.
Yeah,
That's
intense.
cool.
So do take a look at time travel. You can see all the things. We also released the Adafruit sous vide project
Okay.
pack last
Yeah.
year.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was in there too. Okay. Next up, some wearable electronics.
Okay.
I got a couple things. The first thing is mission accomplished. We had a goal, and our goal was bringing more electronics to cosplay, and the problem was that it was just hard. So IO9 has an excellent article about all the cool electronics and costuming that people are doing, because costuming and electronics belong together.
That's right.
All costumes, if you look at the Iron Mans and Tron and like every cool
No,
costume.
even like all
Yeah.
anime costumes have some sort of weird glowing, blinking thing. I mean,
Yeah.
everything that's to do with the future or past usually has some like magic sphere or like lightning bolt or like glowing fighting stick. So yeah.
So Micah McKenna was at Dragon Con, and this is an author that writes about this stuff. And Micah said the following: I found examples of people using, both around the hall. Sushi Ushi used a Raspberry Pi to create sound reactive light displays in her original design, so the lights in her fluffy tail danced at the constant convention drone, while Joshua Kane controlled the strand of LEDs in his Halo Super Soldier costume with an Arduino microprocessor. When asked about learning to use an Arduino, he praised Adafruit's kits and tutorials for simplifying the process, encouraging any other curious customers to start with them if they're afraid to take the leap into microprocessors. And that's exactly what...
Is that exactly what you wanted to do?
yeah. That's
Good work, exactly.
Yeah. So that's what we wanted, because costuming and cosplay, the barrier of entry, if you wanted to do all the cool things, is like, well, where do you start? What do you get? Do you have any things that's sewable? Is it wearable? Is there tutorials? Is there a video?
And a lot of people, like, they have skills. I mean, obviously they can
Yeah.
do costumes. They're really good at patience and technique and skill and improving, but it's still kind of alien. What's interesting is there hasn't been a long history of cosplay and electronics going together, which I always thought was kind of interesting. There should
Yeah.
be more, but for some reason it would never quite combined. I don't know, maybe because like cosplay came out of like Ren fairs or sci-fi conventions where like they didn't do electronics. Now there's a lot more, especially anime conventions. There's like tons of electronics
I'm gonna
projects.
say it. Wearable electronics is really hard, and there wasn't enough tutorials, and there wasn't enough out there, and it certainly didn't see fun or approachable. And I think that's changing. I think Becky and you have done an excellent job, and the fact that we celebrate costuming cosplay on our site and we tie it with the electronics that go with it, people can imagine like, oh, cool, like now I know what EL wire is, and it's actually really easy to add to a costume.
Yeah.
So, anyways, next up, we got something really neat. This is that hat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm not gonna talk about it. I'm just gonna show this video.
Okay.
Okay, and Lady Ada is back, and I am without a Lady Ada. She's going to get some electronics for it's not out yet. Don't ask. Oh, there she is.
Oh, hey.
And I have a project I wanted to show. This is from Phil B. You guys know him as Paint Your Dragon.
Yeah,
and,
he sent you your own hat.
I have my own hat, and I'll go to the full screen here. And this is using the Adafruit Blue Fruit application available in the iTunes store. And here we go. And if you look close, I could turn off the...
Oh, you want me to turn off the lights?
No, maybe we'll do it later, but it just says Ask an Engineer.
Yeah.
So, anyways, this is what my hat looks like. This is Bluetooth controlled, controls the scrolling on the hat. This is the Guten hat.
Yeah, hold on. You know what? Let me make it brighter.
Okay.
Brighten it up a little.
Oh, cool. Sacrificial pixel.
Where?
Well, it was a joke. Becky was giving advice on how to do a thing, and she said sacrificial pixel, and I said that's a cool band name, and I kind of wouldn't let it go.
Okay.
Yeah. There was also Perpendicular Friend, and I said that could be a band or like maybe a Coldplay song.
Okay.
All right.
All right, so that's all white. So yeah, it's a little brighter.
Yeah.
I guess you kind of see it. That's good. Turn off the lights later. You'll have your own little rave going on.
Yeah, I haven't been able to find much work since I left Guns N' Roses, so this is what I do. I operate an electronic show. Okay. Next up, 3D.
3D Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay.
3D Thursday. All the news that's fit to print, slowly, with PLA. We have a couple of posts. This one is layer by layer, making curved horns in 123 design. This is from Noah and Pedro.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and they show how to do this. So this actually counts as cosplay, by the way.
Of course.
But I put this in here. So if you want to learn how to make those horns that you saw a couple weeks ago on the show, and put LEDs inside of them, make cosplay horns, and show 3D printed horns, if that's your thing, if that's what you really like, Adafruit shows you how to do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Demons, dragons, and other monsters, pay attention.
Yeah. Next up, if you ever wanted to learn how to make the
first scope stuff
we talked about, go to the tutorial. We have it as a learning guide. We have it on, let's see, we put it on Autodesk 123D, and we put it on Thingiverse. That's where we have the files. You can download them. And, 3D printing is still kind of a toxic hell stew. So download it from the place that you hate the least this week. It changes. I spin a wheel. Bzzz.
Okay.
Which one? Okay. So anyways, there's a lot of different places, but we try to put them in all the places. And we have a video. This is a really cool video. These guys did an excellent job with it.
This summer you can check out the night sky and photograph the moon with your camera phone using the Celestron First Scope. You can get this reflective telescope from the Adafruit shop. Our 3D printed adapter allows you to mount this telescope to any camera tripod so you can get a better view of the sky. It's easy to remove the telescope from the rotating base and secure it to the mounting adapter. Find out how you can customize this design to fit your phone on the Adafruit Learning System, where you can also get the download for this stargazing project. A 3D printed clip allows you to easily snap the eyepiece to the camera for shooting astronomical photography. The First Scope comes with two standard 1.25-inch eyepieces and features a focal length of 300mm, so you can get a telescopic view of the sky. Thanks so much for watching, and if you like this project, why not share and subscribe for more 3D printed projects from Adafruit.
Okay.
I'm glad they did that project in Florida, because we don't have stars or like moons here in like New York. It's just scary skies.
Yeah. The other thing that's kind of neat is I try to think of what the ultimate Adafruit project could be.
Yeah.
You can have the ample tie, you can have this hat, you can have the goggles, you can have the Firewalker shoes, you can have the GPS jacket. You could go out and look in the telescope.
Yeah.
And you can look out through it after you've 3D printed all this, and in the distance, you can see someone light painting.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of intense.
Yeah.
Like on the moon? Like what? Like,
no,
or
from
just,
the
just
distance.
like, you just like look at,
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, next up, Pi Day. Every Friday we have like a billion e-posts about Raspberry Pi stuff. More big, crazy news in the world of...
More pies?
Yeah. So guess what? 3 million of them. There's 3 million Raspberry Pis right now.
So each one of those pies there stands like 50.
It represents a certain amount of pies. So, yeah. So the sales hit 3 million. This is the milestone. The Pi Foundation announced that the hardware sales are up to 3 million. We've been keeping track of this. By the way, they were at the Palace or something. British folks They go to. There's royalty involved now. There's a Dutch.
They were rescuing the princess in the castle.
There's a queen or king involved or something.
There was
But
a
anyways,
queen.
there's a queen involved.
Her
so
Majesty.
it's cool. Like Eben's gonna get knighted any second now. He's gonna be Knight Eben, and that's cool.
Yeah, they love. Yeah, sure. They
Yeah.
can get like OBEs or whatever.
Yeah. So we've been tracking this for a while. So the Pi folks hit 2.5 million in February.
Yeah.
And then 2 million in October of 2013. 1.7. You can look at the date on the post.
10/18.
Yeah, and then 1 million Raspberry Pis. That was in January. And then we kept track of it each time. Funny side note, Lady Ada and I were in a meeting once, and there were some venture capital people. And they were arguing about the market share of Arduino, how many there were.
Yeah.
And they were trying to tell us it was a different number. And they said, well, how do you know? And I said, you're looking at the article I wrote about this when I asked the Arduino team, and I wrote this on Make Magazine. And then he stopped. But it was funny because no one there isn't syndicated research of like these things, so we try to keep track of it on the Adafruit blog. So for the people out there that are always like, how many Raspberry Pis, just type Raspberry Pi market share Adafruit in Google, and you'll see these posts.
We post it up every time.
Yeah, I actually purposely put market share.
Okay.
Because back in the day, I'd have to look up all the stuff and write an article on Make. Now I just want to have it handy. So 3 million.
Okay.
Not bad.
3 million.
Okay. Next up. No beeping.
Okay.
No. Collin's lab, the latest one's come out. It's RFID, and it's fantastic. If you ever want to know about RFID,
It's a great intro.
gather yourself, pull up a chair, get comfy.
Time for Collin's lab.
Dr. Collins here.
Do.
Radio frequency identification is a method for wirelessly identifying a tagged object using radio signals. An RFID tag consists of a very small chip attached to an antenna. The tag is attached to the object, like say our lamp here, and an RFID reader is brought into close proximity to the tag. The reader generates an electromagnetic field which causes electrons to move through the tag's antenna and subsequently power the chip. That's right, there's no battery in the tag. It's powered solely by the radio waves emitted from the reader. That's pretty slick. Impressive. Anyway, the powered chip inside the tag then responds by sending its stored data back to the reader in the form of another radio signal. That radio signal is interpreted by the reader, which then sends the data out to a computer or a microcontroller. So reading our tagged lamp here informs us that lamp. Yes, in fact, I can confirm this is a lamp. That's just an example, of course. The tag could have included information about a price, or a serial number, or a secret encrypted message, which would have been pretty cool in hindsight. Now, there are active tags which incorporate their own power supply, and are therefore able to send data over a much greater distance. They are relatively large and cumbersome though. All the tags we're using here are passive tags as they have no internal power. The benefit of passive tags is that they can be made very, very small. Some small enough to be embedded under the skin, or simply compact enough to be embedded in an adhesive label, which is wicked cool. I suppose that's true. Who wrote the tags? That reminds me, some tags are read-only, and their data can't be changed. As you may have noticed, the tags we're using here are all customized. They are writable. I can write data to their internal memory just about as easily as I can read it. RFID technology is used in a variety of different ways. It allows us to pay a toll without stopping our car. open a door with a simple swipe, or even be reunited with a lost pet. The possibilities of what you can do with it are numerous. I mean, you could even make your own cookies. Guys, come on.
Well, it's almost time for new product. You know, you can
Okay.
tell because my head changed to say new products.
Okay.
That's how you can tell. Before we do new products, though, code is RFID, folks. Get 10% off all this stuff. Don't
Including
forget,
RFID.
We got the Bitcoin deal. You can do Bitcoins. You get free stuff, 99,
We got-
$200 tiers.
We got RFID shields,
RFID,
breakouts,
RFID,
novels, thingies,
RFID,
n-
RFID.
fobs,
I got my new product hat
fobs,
on.
cards, nails, all sorts of RFID items.
Okay,
Okay.
it's new product time.
New.
Okay.
New.
So let's do this. First up, this is a back in stock.
Oh, back in stock.
Yeah, what are these?
Anemometer. This is a wind speed sensor. It's kind of a nice one too.
Yeah.
Good
Not,
for detecting wind speed.
not motorized spoons like I initially thought they were. So
No, it's not for eating your cereal faster.
Yeah, this is. It's an
Classic
automated ice cream scooper. No.
Okay.
This is also back in the store.
Cupcake is updated and back in stock. It is now out of beta. It's now much easier to build. You no longer have to build a circuit board on, build the interface circuit on a Proto. Instead, there's a custom circuit board that we make and we manufacture. So the soldering is really minimal. So it takes a couple hours less. It takes like an hour less or an hour or two less to do it, and a lot less complicated. It's basically just solder some wires directly, and now and like a lot less, and then like the buttons plug in directly.
Okay.
So it's super cute. And we released a new image that also has NES support.
Wow.
So like we have a Zelda screenshot.
Yeah, I got some
It's
screenshots. Which
the
one? I don't know
last
if I
one.
have all of them.
Yep, that one. Click it. Click it.
Right.
Click it. Click it.
No,
Click it.
It doesn't want to go.
Doesn't want to go.
No, we got problems over here.
But you just showed it.
No, there's issues.
What happens if you have next arrow?
I can't. It doesn't work the way. it's
What?
supposed. No.
Okay.
Keep moving. Okay.
It did work.
Next up.
Okay, so we have that, and wait, no, okay, can you?
We got to keep moving.
So check that out. We've sold out of the cupcakes, but we'll have like 50 more made like later this week.
Okay.
And next up,
Okay. Next up.
we have a extra large tactile, not tactile. Shoot, what's the word? I have to look at the packaging to remember what it's called. It's called a large transducer.
Sonic reducer.
It's a it's a sonic reducer. It's a transducer. So this is it's a coil wrapped around a special kind of metal that when electric field goes through it, it expands and contracts. And so you press it up against a surface to turn that surface into a speaker. So it's a speaker surface transducer. It's kind of like the bone conduction transducer we have, except it's like really big, way too big to be used on bones. It's like this big. It's often used in like these like portable speakers. That's like you put it on the table, and it's got this little rubber pad. That's the white pad on top, and you basically have it face down on the table, and it'll vibrate the table. So yeah, you can use it just like any other 4-ohm 5-watt speaker. We have a bunch of amplifiers that work really well with it.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is a large version. We have the medium and teeny, and now big. So all sizes for all your transducing needs.
Okay. Next up. I like this one. This is
Phone pads.
one of my favorite new products.
This is a classic product. It's actually it was hard for us to find a good source for this because they're not really made too much anymore. It's a classic phone pad from old style phones, and this one has like headers attached already on it. So you just plug it into a breadboard, and it has this kind of standard 3x4 buttons. So it has 12 buttons, 1 through 0, and then star and pound. It's multiplex, so you use 7 pins, so you can read the columns and the rows. You can see here that there's 3 columns and 4 rows, and then when the button is pressed, it shorts those little gold fingers together. And so you have to use like a scanning program or a library to use it. There's an Arduino library called Keypad or KeyScan or something that we link to, and it works really, really well. Just like use that, and you can just like when it read the button press, it can detect it. And we're going to maybe do some phone projects with this, but we also just thought it's kind of fun. We have like a flexi version that's a little bit less expensive, but this is kind of has that old style tactile feel, which I really like. It also has the letters printed above the numbers, which I like.
Just look at it.
Just look at it.
Just look at it.
Isn't that desirable?
Accept.
No. Okay. This is the mini USB-A plug. So this is a sort of a DIY plug if you want to make your own USB cables. We have these in a bunch of different styles and sizes. This one is the super slim A-type socket.
Yeah.
And it's just like, the other ones we have snapped together in half. This one slides into the end. So it's kind of a little bit more elegant looking. It's just like, modern style connector if you want to make your own connectors. But once in a while you have to do like a weird thing. You have to splice a USB cable or connect to something, or your microcontroller has USB host but you don't have a plug for it. So this allows you to wire one directly. Also maybe like you want to make your own Minty boost, something so you can plug in like a 5-volt power supply. You want to plug in anything with USB, switch power, anything like that. This is your DIY connector.
It's one of those handy things that when you need it, you don't have it, and you're like, if I only had it.
Yeah, I just hate splicing USB cables because if they're always, it's just like a pain. The wires are really thin. This just makes it like really easy and less splicing.
Okay.
It's like a buck.
All right, next up. Now, before I move on, a little special shout out to Alon here. One of the folks on our new product team is getting really good at making animated GIFs. We have an internal learning guide. This is why all of our new products have GIFs right now. It's awesome. Anyways, this gives you, I like these because it immediately shows you the front and back of a photo.
Front, back,
of
back,
the
front,
product.
back,
Yeah.
front. This is a SMA Edge launch. I don't know if that's the official word, but that's kind of what DigiKey describes it as. And this is used when you want to put an SMA RF connector on a PCB and you don't want it to stick up, you want it to stick out. And you also don't want it to like be super bulky. I like these, they're slim, they're very easy to solder. This is an SMA classic, not RPSMA, but we have an SMA to RPSMA adapter, so you can use that if you want to adapt to RPSMA. If you go next.
Next?
Yeah.
Okay.
Next.
We have some still boring photos.
Yeah, these are some
boring.
So that's exciting, and then you can see the back. So it hugs the edge of a circuit board.
Oh, I have a photo.
And let's show that photo.
Yeah, it's not animated though. It's not animated.
It's not animated, and it only shows it from the edge, but it's basically like the legs are hugging the edge of the board, and it slides on, and then you just solder it in place. So, I mean, I like these. They're fairly low cost and they're easy to solder, and I use them for a bunch of projects. And they don't take up a lot of board real estate.
Like what type of projects?
This is a controllable clock oscillator.
When would you use that?
This is for like if you want to do like SDR, like software defined radio, or you want to have like an oscillator, and you want to have something that uses RF, and you want to connect an antenna.
So this must mean you're working on something soon that uses this.
Maybe.
This is what we call leading the engineer in the business.
You're not allowed to lead the engineer.
Yeah.
I'm lead free. Next up.
Oh, good one. Good. All right.
Pibrella. You always tell me like I have to rush through these. I'm going to rush through these now. This is the Pibrella from Pimaroni. It's a fully assembled little add-on board for a Raspberry Pi. It has a little kind of motor driver type thing going on. It has 3 LEDs. It has a piezo buzzer. It has a button. It's all good fun. It has USB, which I actually don't know what the USB connector does. And there's just tutorials online about what you can do with it. It's just a little add-on for the Raspberry Pi. It's meant to be a low-cost sort of physical computing interactivity thing. So, Pibrella.
It's cool. And Pimaroni, if you're watching this in the UK or anywhere in Europe, if you want to get most of Adafruit stuff, Pimaroni has pretty much all of it. They're becoming one of our biggest resellers in Europe.
Almost all the stuff will show up in Pimaroni's shop in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
New today, but old tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay, next up. We just put this in the store today.
Yes. This is the DIY sensor kit. It's a DIY phone sensor kit that was it was on Kickstarter, and it was a successful Kickstarter. Then the person was like, hey, I still have a bunch of these kits, and I think people still want them. Would you like to sell them? And I was like, yeah, sure. And it's basically... the engineer who designed this kit worked at a company that makes the film, and it's a little bit like Velostat. It's a pressure-sensitive film, which is also basically used in like any force-sensitive resistor or force sensor. This is like a thick film, and then you also get, I can go back to, you get a 3-inch by 4-inch piece of the film, which is the black stuff, thick aluminum foil, not like the aluminum foil you use in like a home. It's like really tough stuff, like industrial aluminum foil, and then 2 clear poly sheets. And then what you can do is you can cut it to any size you want. So if you want like a long thin sensor, or you want like a round sensor or a square sensor or like a foot shaped sensor, whatever you want, you cut it and then you sandwich it together. And then can you go 2 steps? And then this is a sensor. And then when you squeeze it, the resistance goes down. So I think it goes down to like, I don't remember the exact numbers, but I think it ranges from like 100K to 1 mega ohm, I think, about-ish, depending on how hard you squeeze it.
Okay. Yeah, I like the kits and projects that we're putting in the store that are post-Kickstarter successes that have already shipped to their backers.
Yeah.
We have a little bit of an issue. We have a popular blog, and you have a lot of Twitter followers, fans, Google Plus folks, and people really want us to promote their Kickstarters, but there's a lot of Kickstarters that don't make it. So what we've said is, we'll wait until...
Also, like, I don't know for sure that the Kickstarters are... they're like real. I mean, I don't know if they're going to actually fulfill.
So what we've said is like, hey, after your Kickstarter has been fulfilled and the backers got their stuff,
all the backers are satisfied.
Then we can write about it, and we'd also like to stock it if it's successful.
Yeah.
So this is a good example.
Yeah, we have like
that.
6 or 7 now, which is, it's a really great way to get stuff to
Yeah.
your backers, and then after you're done, maybe you have some product left over, or maybe you're like, that worked out and I want to have a continuous source, because a Kickstarter is like a kind of one-shot deal.
Okay. Next up. You just released this like
A couple days ago.
UV
This
sensor.
is a UV sensor that uses like the GUVA 123 or 321 something sensor. It's a photodiode UV sensor, and it's unlike the Scilab sensor. The Scilab sensor doesn't actually have a UV element in it, but it has a full spectrum, and it can like calibrate to figure out like what the UV index is. This is actually a true UV sensor. That little white square thing that's like right there is a UV photodiode. It's actually basically a true UV LED, but like run backwards. Although I don't know if it can actually emit UV light, but it will detect UV light and turn that into a voltage. But the voltage is really, really small. It's like microvolts. And so there's an op amp, which is like the black 5-legged thing next to it, and it's a real-time op amp that amplifies the little current that comes out of the photodiode and makes it up to like 3 volts or whatever, depending on how much UV. 3 volts out would be a lot of UV. So if that happens, then maybe you should run for cover. But it can detect UV light from the sun, from a UV lamp, and it's like true UV, not like purple UV that you get from LEDs, but like not eye visible detectable UV. So we tested this with the reptile lamp. Like reptiles apparently need to have like UV lamps if they're indoors, because they need UV to generate like vitamins and stuff. So just if you want to test this, you actually have to take it outside to test it. You can't test it with a UV LED. It doesn't work. I tried, and it was like a couple hours of like, why isn't my sensor working? But this is an analog output. It gives you about 0.1 volts per UV index. So if it's 0.5 volts out, UV index of 5. That's it. Super simple. Much simpler to use than the Scilab sensor for sure.
All right, next up, we've got a few different colors of these. So what I thought I would do is I would show the different colors.
We have 2 colors right now of the 14-segment alphanumeric duals. So these are dual LEDs that each package has 2 digits. Each digit has 14 segments. So it's great for alphanumeric displays, and we'll show it showing alphanumeric. But for now, you can just look at this like beautiful like starburst style. This is the red. It's a very nice bright red. Maybe I'll show it on the overhead at the same time as the
you want to show it on the overhead?
Okay, maybe let me grab this.
Quick. To the overhead.
Yeah. Okay, is the overhead on?
Yeah, it's on.
Okay.
Do your thing.
Okay, so this is
blue.
is the blue one. And then let me see if I can get the red one. Yes, they come in a pack of, they're super bright. Yeah, it's hard to focus because it's just like too bright. That's the blue one, and then I'm going to swap it out for a red one. And that's the red one. So you can see these are like super, super bright.
Yeah.
And we're going to get other colors, but these are the only colors that I approved for the first shipment because they were bright enough. And I want to make sure that they're like nice and bright. So there's 2 digits and 14 segments. So you need a lot of pins to control these. So that's why we made a backpack, and we actually released it at the same time as a backpack because it's only that super useful with a backpack to help control it.
We have some other photos I wanted to show. So this is what they look like when they're not plugged in and making your eyes all boggly.
Yeah.
So here they are. This is the different pieces here. Okay, and you want to move on to the next one?
Yeah.
Okay, so next up, this is the
backpack.
14
So
segment.
since you want to have at least 4-letter words, with the backpack we made has 4 digits, so you get the 2 of the dual displays in one backpack, and it uses I2C, so you can use 2 pins, and just about any microcontroller can use it. These are like super, super simple to control over I2C. And we have a library, and you can stack up to 8 of them by changing the address on the back, the little address changey thingy. And we wrote Arduino code that has a font table, so like it has basically every printable ASCII character. We converted it to 14 segment, and you can see here the demo for A, B, and C. You can look on the overhead, and I can show it really fast for the backpack. So yeah, this is our little demo that just goes between the starburst and A, B, C, D. So it just uses 2 pins. Powered from 5 volts. Actually, I'm powered from 3 volts right now, and it works really good. It's still really bright. 5 volts is even better, and you can dim the whole display if you think it's too bright. So we'll have some fun projects that use these, and then hopefully we'll get some more colors as well. But this is fun because it's like you want to use like these displays, but you need like 28 pins or something like insane to control these, especially the 14 segments, just because so many segments add up. And this is a nice solution. It's low cost, and you can get alphanumeric.
Okay. But wait, there's more. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
What about it?
Look at this.
What about it?
Look at these.
They're bar graphs.
Bar graphs. We got them.
We has them.
Okay, so what are these?
So we have, wait, let me get these bar graphs. So we actually had bar graph displays before. We had the blue, the white, pure green, and amber already. And then, because those were I approved, and those came in the first shipment. But then I also approved the red, yellow, and yellow-green. But those didn't show up till today, and now these are bright enough that I'm like, yay! Like these are cool to sell. I think these are bright enough because I don't like it when if you like power them from like the back, like 20 milliamps per segment. I want them to be like nice and vivid.
Okay.
They're a little more expensive for us, but whatever.
Okay, so we got these photos.
Yeah.
This is what they look like when you hold still and take a photo of them.
Yeah.
That's fun. And then here's
Look like this, and it's just 10 LEDs.
Yeah.
So it's like all the anodes are on one side, all the cathodes are on the other side, and it's like super simple. So maybe we'll go to the overhead. I actually have a demo of that also shows this flexi film stuff.
Yeah,
so when I push it,
yeah, move it out of there. Yeah.
yeah, if I push it, it's like a strength detector too.
Yeah.
So this is the blue matrix that we had before, and then let me change this out.
Now what's cool is I can see what's underneath that proto shield, and there's 2 unreleased Adafruit products, and they're really cool. And I can't tell you what they are yet, but they're.
Wow, you're kind of a jerk.
I'm not a jerk.
This is
but
red.
I can see it from here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a hint.
No,
there's no power.
Yeah.
How's
it even possible?
How's it even possible?
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, this is the red. So I'm going to squeeze, so you can see it's a nice bright red. And then let me demo also, which one is this? This one is yellow. And the yellow is the yellow and the amber are kind of similar, but the yellow is a teeny bit yellower. Like, it's kind of hard to tell exactly how much yellower, but it is, wait, it's backwards. Okay, there you go. It's okay to plug it in backwards because the anode and the cathode just get reversed. It's okay, but it won't light up. So that's yellow, nice yellow color. And then finally, one second, light green. So we have the pure green. The pure green is like the the gallium arsenic formulation of the LEDs, and this one is the I don't remember exactly which formulation, but this one's a yellower green. The other one's like a pure like 3.4 volt.
Gallium arsenic is the lead singer of Sacrificial Pixel.
You could start like a metal band
Yeah.
in your LED hat.
Yeah.
And this is a yellow green. So the pure green is like a more of like a bright, vivid green, and it's more like a grass green, but it's a little less expensive and like, I don't know, some people want a lower voltage. If you want to run off a 3.3 volt, this one's better because it'll be brighter because the forward voltage is like 2.3 volts, not 3.4 volts.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
Squeeze.
Excellent showing, Lady Ada.
Okay.
So that was new products, folks. Okay,
All right, your hat should not say new products anymore.
No, it's not. It's going to say the code for the evening now.
Okay, what's the code?
The code is RFID, and I type that into my phone, and then it changes on my hat.
You wish we capital letters.
No, I like to use lowercase.
Okay. Your hat's even lowercase.
Even my hat's lowercase. So the code is RFID,
Okay.
and I know
Nice.
that because my hat says it.
Nice work.
Yeah. So we're going to do a little special thing right now. It's called Top Secret. It's not out yet. Don't ask.
Okay.
So we got this cool thing Lady is working on. What the heck is that?
This is Phil B's latest project. It's a open source grid controller. So we wanted to make something that was completely open source that uses the trellis and is based off of an Arduino Leonardo, which you can actually see kind of nicely in the back here. And we got it working with USB native MIDI. So when you plug it in, it's actually a MIDI grid controller. So right now it actually...
USB native MIDI is a big deal.
Well, it's just like, it doesn't suck.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to use, so you can... Hold on, give it a second. It goes through the bootloader first.
Yeah.
And so there's LEDs,
Wow.
ooh, blinky LEDs, and then right now the demo just sends a note on and note off.
I'm going to hit the lights here for a second.
Why? Because you want your hat to be brighter?
I just want lights here.
Okay.
How's that?
It's brighter.
Okay.
Okay. You want to hang out here in the dark?
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh wow! Now your hat looks great.
Yeah.
That's the secret.
Yeah.
So he's basically just sends note on, note off when you press the button. So it's really basic, and like the LEDs light up to let you know what you pressed. But the idea is that it's only like 10 lines of Arduino code,
Yeah.
so that you can create your own controller and adapt it. And we'll have like hacks on like how you can add like potentiometers and rotary encoders onto the side.
So what could you do? You can use this as a musical instrument?
Yeah, a lot of people like to use like grid controllers, like
That's what you would do.
yeah.
You'd be like.
You can have it, you can have it be attached to a sequencer. You can have it like trigger certain things. So some people actually do video, the VJing, where like each button is a different clip, and so they can mix clips around. So it's kind of like it's not a mono, because a lot of people say, hey, it's a mono. It's not, because the mono uses a special interface. This is just meant to be kind of like an open source.
And the mono is a lot more expensive.
Yeah, but it's like artisanal, and you don't have to solder it yourself. This one you have to put together.
Yeah.
But I wanted something that was like completely open source and use an Arduino, and that you could hack and modify. And
So if you decide
MIDI
to quit
native.
doing electronics and move on to a farm, people could still make their own trellises and do all this.
yeah, we released the CAD files for how to make your own elastomer buttons too. So if you want to make it like the buttons, you can even do that.
Okay.
So this is
That's cool.
the squishy version. So this will be a project, a laser cut kit that Phil B is working on, and he'll have out in like a week or two.
Yeah. Will there be a learn.adafruit.com guide?
Yeah, I think it's being worked on right now.
Of course there will be.
Yay.
Okay. I knew the answer to that question.
And this is kind of cool because there's like, it's kind of neat, like it lights from the bottom too a little bit.
Yeah.
Neat. Super bright.
Okay. So this is going to be neat. I can't wait to see what people do with it.
I think this will be interesting because having MIDI means you can send any kind of MIDI message. It doesn't have to be note on or note off. It can be like sysx messages or like pitch bend or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
And a lot of software can use MIDI. So I expect more software to be able to interface with like a good controller.
All right. And that was the segment we call.
Wait, no, why are you putting the lights back on?
It's not out there. Well, because it's over. You
No.
want to leave them off?
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. All right. Lights are off.
Okay.
Well, now I'm back.
Okay. Nothing changed. Well, no, because your hat shows up so nicely.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll stay here with the lights dimmer.
What's the code?
I think it's RFID.
Okay, check
There's
the
this
hat.
guy in the screen that says it.
Check the hat.
Okay, so it's question time. You guys can ask your questions. We got a few minutes left. Ask your engineering questions and more. Lady Ada can answer them. Go, go, go.
I think we have enough musical accessories here to start our own band.
Someone asked a question, why is the code RFID tonight? Well, we just displayed and played Collin's lab. And just remember, Collin says, no beeping. No. Collin's lab this week is RFID, so that's why. Okay. Next up, why are most new microcontrollers 3.3 volt instead of 5 volt?
Oh, it's a good question, actually. When making a processor, the process you use, the chip fabrication process, you can use a process that makes it 5 volt compatible or only 3 volt compatible. And if you want to cram more stuff into a die, you kind of have to get rid of the 5 volt compatibility. You have to make stuff a little bit smaller. And so the trade-off is that you get smaller stuff that runs faster, that uses less power, but it doesn't run off 5 volts, it runs off of 3 volts. And so actually even new processors don't even run on 3.3 volts. New processors run on 1.8 volts or 2.3 or 2.4 volts. Like 3.3 has actually been around for a really long time, and many cores now are 1.8 volts. So consider yourself lucky if you're working only with 3.3.
Yeah. Okay, next up. Are you looking to stock 40 milliamp hour batteries?
We're not going to stock 40 milliamp hour rechargeable LiPos because our chargers charge at 100 milliamps, and I think under 100, they're really delicate, and the size of the protection circuit is larger than the battery, and I don't want to sell them without protection circuit. So the smallest we have is 100. It's actually 110. Just give you a little bit of leeway. So you can charge it with our chargers at 100 milliamps safely, and it's pretty small.
Okay.
It's a small thing.
Next up, how do I change the logo that shows up at the top of the Raspberry Pi boot sequence? Normally, it's in the Raspberry. Oh man, I think you have to change the kernel, right?
Yeah, you have to recompile the kernel.
Yeah, I remember we did that because we did that with Occidentalists.
We actually do that for the PyTFT kernel too because it helps debug because it's people who don't realize that they are using the wrong SD card and they're like, my PyTFT isn't working. I'm like, what's the icon in the top left corner? And if they don't say it's an Adafruit, I'm like, you're booting the wrong kernel. You don't have the kernel booted. You have to recompile it.
Okay, do you know if the Bluetooth LE can pair with a Mayo airband? I don't know.
I don't know, but it's a client only, so it doesn't do host connection. Okay. So if it's a wearable thing, then probably not.
When do you expect more BeagleBone Blacks to arrive?
That's a good question. We have an article about that.
Everybody in the world asked that question. We do have an article about it, and the BeagleBone folks, they with Circuit Code, they put how many they're shipping out. We ordered a lot early. We got, I think, the first, second, and third rounds. So we should have them any day. Sign up on the Adafruit site, and you'll get an email the moment they arrive. Next up. Could you easily connect the sound tie and the new sound hat to one Flora? Oh, so you know the Collin's tie and the Becky's hat. I think you would need 2 microcontrollers.
You
for that.
kind of need 2.
Yeah.
Well, first off, because there's a lot of memory used, and second, because there would be a wire going from your hat to your tie, and it would choke you.
Okay.
That's not
good. Next up. Does the USB LiPo charger allow charging and powering at the same time?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Next up, the I2C interrupts aren't included in the Trellis library. How would I include those?
The interrupt is actually just a pin that if you pull it up with the pull-up resistor, it just drops low when there's a button pressed. And we don't use it because we haven't had a need to it, but basically just listen for that pin on a digital pin or interrupt, and then when it goes low, it means a button has been pressed. However, be aware that it doesn't go low when something's changed, only when a button's pressed. So if somebody releases a button, the interrupt pin will not change. So it's not always useful. If you want to detect button changes, which a lot of projects do, that's why we poll it instead.
Okay, next up. Would you consider creating a EduX course, engineering, computer science, entrepreneuring? You know what? A lot of people are doing that. We think our learning system and the articles that we post is kind of our moon mission thing. Like if we think if we can get the most articles and tutorials, we have an entrepreneurial section from Mark Barros. We have how to start a hackerspace.
I have like a bunch of articles.
Yeah, we do. We have a lot. So we kind of live in the learning system. And someone has a follow-up question with that. Can anyone write a learning system tutorial? And the answer is maybe. What we do is we find people that write great tutorials, and we have them put them on the site. We want to make sure everything is great, it's curated. And so if you write tutorials out there and put it on Instructables or your own site and you send them to us, we'll check them out. And if it looks like it's a good match with the Adafruit learning system, that's when we start to invite other authors. And we're always looking for other authors. And we actually pay people. And that is the questions for the night, lady. We got to get out of here. It's 9 o'clock.
Yeah, we got to go.
Yeah. Okay. So.
I'm going to change your hat to say gotta go.
Well, I was going to do the trivia thing. I was going to say trivia on the hat.
Okay.
Trivia question.
Okay, hold on.
All right. I'll say the rules while you do that.
Yes.
The rules are if you've won before, you can't win again. And we're going to be looking for the first person to type this answer on the YouTube chat. And
What?
Yeah, because you know what? They're not always synced up. I'm going to alternate a little bit.
Okay.
So if you're looking for where to type the answer to this trivia question, you should go to the YouTube page right now. And in the Ustream chat, I'm going to post where it is.
Okay.
So it's
And
going,
the prize
the prize
is a blue quad alphanumeric backpack.
Yeah.
So the thing that had words, like little backpack. You know, my controller use it, but most people have one.
Yeah.
So yeah, go to town.
So it's in the Ustream. I'm sorry, it's in the YouTube.
YouTube only.
Yeah.
YouTube
okay.
only.
The question is.
Okay.
What video game just celebrated its 30th anniversary? The engineer behind it, Alexei Pachanov,
Pagentov?
was the Russian computer engineer who created the game in 1984, but struggled for decades to get royalties. It became a ubiquitous success, and he said it was so complicated, or so fun to play, and it wasn't complicated, he couldn't finish programming it at first. So
Okay, so what game? What's the name of this
game? What
game?
game that just celebrated its 30th
30-year-old game.
30th anniversary.
And you have to be in the YouTube chat.
Yeah.
We're gonna give the YouTube people
Yeah, YouTube people can
a
get.
chance.
Yeah. I mean, you can answer it in the Ustream chat. You just don't get anything, you know. Let's see who gets it.
I wish
first.
this made sounds.
It's not Pac-Man.
Dun,
It's
dun.
Tetris. Congratulations,
Lab Alex.
LabAlX. Congratulations.
Yay, Lab Alex.
Email support@adafruit.com and tell them that you won a.
Alphanumeric display blue with backpack.
Yeah.
I don't know the PAD, but yeah.
Okay. That's it for our show, folks. A reminder, the code is RFID. That's 10% off everything in the Adafruit store except for gift certificates and EagleCat software. I should probably remind people, we do sell EagleCat software. We're selling a lot of it. That's our show. We're here next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Show and Tell is next week, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wearable, Wednesday. Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern is 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay.
Fantastic show. Thank you, everyone who's in the Show and Tell. Thank you, everyone who's here late at night working in the Adafruit store.
I know.
And
We're here in the factory.
Here in the factory.
We had
And
visitors all day. It was crazy today.
Yeah, we had our friends from Gawkin. They came by today, and we love their kits. And we have them in the store now, too.
They were like,
So-
your photos are really, really good. And we're like,
They like
yeah.
the photos. Yeah.
Spent a lot of time on these photos.
So we'll see everyone
Okay.
next week. And thank you again. Thank you, everyone who continues to support open source hardware and Adafruit, what pays the bills here.
Check out this hat.
And this hat is neat.
Isn't that a cool hat? Check out the tutorial. Phil B put a tutorial
Phil B,
about how to
paint your
make how to
dragon.
build this hat yourself.
Yeah. He did a fantastic job. There was a request for me to wear this every week. I might.
I don't know. It's nice because then you can always have the code on your head.
Yeah.
What's
Okay.
the code?
We'll see everybody next week. Here's a picture of MOSFET. Here's a moment of Zener. Bye-bye.
Laters.